Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Samreen and I am a first year MBBS student. With the NEET exam being just around the corner, I would like to give you all some tips for your big day. Finally, the day will arrive where there will be less than 24 hours for your paper, and all your hard work and all your perseverance is going to boil down to these 3 hours. So now before you start watching this entire video, you have to remember one thing. Whether you've had a preparation of 2 weeks, 2 months or 2 years, there is no point panicking now. Be level-headed, give it your best shot, and your output will be determined by the efforts that you've put in. So I'm going to start the video by talking about a day before the exam, and one of the most talked about thing is the revision. So this is quite the controversial topic. Some people believe in giving your brain the big break before the big day, but honestly, every child will have some topic that they need to revise a day before the paper, which is honestly completely okay. Of course, now don't leave revising the entire syllabus for one day before. That doesn't make any sense at all. But there are some topics and some stuff that you can revise a day before. It could be factual information, topics that you find difficult, your common mistakes, or where you think you have a chance of making an error or going wrong. That is mainly focus on your weak points. The second point I'll be discussing is saying the last goodbye to your books. So you know the NCRTs who have been with you for the last 2 years, finally you have to study them for the last time, and you can bid them goodbye say by 6 or 7 p.m. one day before the paper. I would say don't saturate yourself much one day before the exam, okay? Then after that you can spend an hour in the night with your friends, with your family. Of course, not discussing the paper, not discussing your studies, but you can relax, watch some Netflix, have some good food, and wind up your day early based on where your center is, what time you'll have to get up the next day, because you of course require a good night's sleep before you go for your paper, because you don't have to be all sleepy and drowsy in the paper, okay? So now finally you get up early in the morning and the day of your exam has arrived, and the very first tip I'll be giving you for your day of the exam is to befriend your parasympathetic nervous system. So you must have heard a lot about people going blank in their papers, like they know everything but suddenly they've gotten blank in their papers, and there are 3 main causes for this. One is inadequate sleep, or you have lack of confidence in yourself, and third is fear that causes anxiety. So in the words of William Shakespeare, fear can neither fight nor fly, so keep your fear aside, and one way to do this is to always go ahead by considering the worst case scenario, like इससे ज़्यादा बुरा क्या हो सकता है. So what is the worst case scenario? Maybe you'll have to take a drop year, or you won't get a college of your choice, but that's the worst, right? And I know you're going to do better than this. So work, and remember that on the day of your paper, all your hard work, all your preparation is eventually going to come to you. So don't worry. In short, try to keep your sympathetic nervous system at bay. The second advice I'll be giving you for the day of the exam would be to read the questions carefully and completely. That is, don't rush in reading the questions, and definitely do not answer the question before you've read it completely. Now you are getting this advice from someone who's lost 5 marks in the paper just because of this. And believe me, when you know that you knew the answer and you've marked it wrong in the paper just because you were in a rush to read the question and you read it incorrectly, it hurts even more when you've made a mistake and you genuinely didn't know the answer. So don't do this. Be careful, be attentive in the paper, be focused. Then the third tip is don't leave all the OMR markings for the end. So if your time is up, okay, and you knew all the answers to all the questions in the paper, but you haven't marked a single one of them, so all your knowledge, all your efforts is just going to go in vain. So there are several patterns in which you can mark the OMR sheet. One is you can either complete a particular section. For example, you complete biology and you mark uska OMR, and then you complete chemistry, physics, and respectively mark their OMRs. Or you can solve 15 questions and then mark the OMR. So try this out and go with a method that suits you the best, because eventually it is you who will be appearing for the paper and not me. So go ahead with what you're comfortable with, but definitely don't leave all the OMR markings for the end. So the fourth point I'll be discussing is, do not panic if you don't get a question or don't get too overconfident. So again, now imagine that your paper is going really well. Now from this point onwards, your road can fork into either of these two directions. One is that you continue to know all your answers, and now you're doing this little happy dance in your head and you start to calculate your marks and think of the potential colleges you could get into, and now you get a little overconfident and you get a little excited, and it is at this exact moment where you're bound to go wrong and make a stupid silly error that could have been avoided. Or maybe you will come across one or two questions whose answers you do not know. Now don't panic, relax, don't waste a lot of time on these questions, leave them for the end, come back to them after your paper is over, so that you don't waste a lot of time behind them and you don't miss out on marks and questions that you could have gained and solved. So the gist of this is to tell you that have all your emotions under control during the paper and just be calm with neither extreme panic or excitement, and this will help you to make and avoid any unnecessary unwanted errors. So the fifth tip or fifth advice would be to be very careful while marking the OMR. So while you're coloring those little bubbles, make sure that you're marking the right answer in front of the right question. Now let me give you an example, okay? So there's question 1, 2, 3 and 4. The answer to question 1 is A, 2 is B, 3 is C and 4 is D. Now imagine you had a doubt in question 2 and you've left it and you went to question 3. Now question 3 ka answer is C. Now you forgot that you have left that space for 2 and you mark C in the place of 2, and you continued and you don't realize it and you continue to do this error, and it's like a chain reaction and a bunch of questions could go wrong. So I'm not trying to scare you, I'm just trying to keep you aware of all these small mistakes so that you could be extra cautious and avoid all these errors in your paper. I think this was the last tip, and with this we've reached the end of the video. I know it was a short video I've posted after a long time, and I hope it helped you all in some way or the other. Please do consider subscribing, liking and sharing the content with people you think are going to benefit from the video. If you want to know how you could crack NEET in the very first attempt, click the video right here. And if you want to know how you could read textbooks faster, click the video right here. It's Samreen. I'll catch up with you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.